And I just feel like in general nowadays, everything is just so much. There's so much of everything everywhere. So right now I'm just thinking about rain because I love it so much. I don't know if you love rain. If you do love rain, comment down below so we can find each other. But I personally love the rain so much because I find it very relaxing. It's very soothing in a way. And I was thinking, is there any way I could somehow relate this or tie this back into the idea of our brains, neuroscience? And I got to thinking about different types of sounds and how we can have those YouTube videos where they're just like, oh, you listen to these sounds and then your focus and concentration will increase by 2000%. And it's also like you're listening to the to like binaural beats and you're like, oh my god, I gotta study for this math test tomorrow. Just you're praying that it helps you think faster and help you solve the problems much quicker than if you weren't listening. And it's interesting because I haven't really looked into what the validity of those, but from what I've seen, it doesn't seem super studied in terms of, okay, yeah, we know that this works for sure. So I may be wrong, but from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to make that much of a big difference, because if you're studying for something and cramming for something, you probably got bigger problems with your understanding. But even then, even if you are taking the time to study, it's unclear whether listening to any kind of music or that extra stimulus makes that much of a big difference or a significant difference on your performance on, let's say, an exam. So with that in mind, the rain, part of the reason why it appears the rain is so soothing is that it's dubbed a pink noise. And pink noise is between I have to look that up. Another thing is that it's comforting in its repetition. The pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter of the rain is something that's always been safe. It's something that's not at all threatening. It's a very natural thing that occurs, and it feels very pure in a way. So I would say that rain is something that is more of a cleansing type of thing for me. It's something that feels very comforting, and it's tactile. When you're out in the rain, you feel the rain. It hits you and if you don't have an umbrella, you're just taking a nice stroll in it. I've done this before, even on campus when I was at UCI. Sometimes in Southern California, it doesn't rain often. It does not rain often, but it also doesn't snow. But in the event, instead of snowfall being the big thing, it's rainfall that's the big thing there. So when I would see the rain clouds come in and I'd be walking to class, I wouldn't be in a particular hurry to get to class because it's raining. I'd just actually slow down and really take in that moment where this cloud had just erupted over our heads and was just releasing just a lot of water on us. And so I think the rain is so I've always enjoyed that aspect of the rain where it feels very comforting. It feels familiar. And for ages, it's been a natural process that just happens to our planet. So it's very rejuvenating in that regard. And I just feel like in general nowadays, everything is just so much. There's so much of everything everywhere. And as a result, it's these little moments when you get the nice ambience of a rainfall that sort of helps drown out this other extra stimuli. It becomes much more of an enjoyable thing, I feel. And so I was reading somewhere online that the frequency of rainfall is between like 0 and 20 hertz. I don't know if that's like legit, but it's supposed to, apparently that frequency or that range of frequencies is supposed to be soothing. But I can buy the idea that the repetitive nature of rain, the natural aspect of it, the fact that it's from nature, and the fact that it's not threatening in general just makes it much more uh, something that you can relax to or tune out these other extra stimuli to. So I think this would probably be there. I would think that someone who has lived in a place that has rainfall all the time, or even strong flooding due to the rain, would have a different opinion on rain in general, because that's not really a positive experience with it. And so I think, like, I've dealt with instances before where in our old house the rain had been so, there was a storm, I think it was hurricane or it was either a storm or hurricane, it was Sandy, I think Hurricane Sandy, where the sheer amount of storm pelting our house was so great that we actually had like flooding in our basement. And so that was such a long time ago, but I still remember it to this day. We had to get like the water pumps out and try to clear the floor for any like electrical devices and whatnot. And it was just such a, it was a moment. It was a moment for sure. But yeah, even despite any of the negative things that, or so-called negative things that I've experienced in the rain, it hasn't dampened my enthusiasm for it. Oh, pun intended. But yeah, just wanted to make this quick video, just sharing a little bit of my love for the rain. This is not a comprehensive explanation of why I love the rain, but I just figured I might as well just post this little video talking about it and why I like it so much. So at least you get a little glimpse of my enjoyment.